friends, welcome back to my channel. I'm Jen. Thank you so much for joining me. Today we're gonna just have like a chatty video. I just wanted to talk about the planners I used as a new mom, when I was pregnant, after the baby was born, before a baby was born, like all those things, because I've seen quite a few people in our community becoming moms. And specifically, a couple months ago when EJ Joyful Plans, Elizabeth, had her first daughter, she said that there were no videos on how your planner style changed from, or if it changed from when you were pregnant to becoming a mom, and how you used it to like track different things. So I'm going to share how I personally did that. It's going to be different for everyone. It's just, you have to find what's going to work for you. And I'm currently pregnant with my third and likely final baby. And I just thought I would share now because I'm going to be changing some stuff and setting things up as the baby arrives. And I thought as the first part of that, I would share my opinion. I don't know if opinion's the right word. My system that I used. So with my first child, I just had like a pocket planner thing from TJ Maxx. I just picked out one with a cute cover, little binder thing that I could write my schedule for work in, and like when my bills were due, and like dentist and doctor appointments and things like that. While I was pregnant, when I found out I was pregnant, I found this countdown journal at Barnes & Noble. If you don't want to like make one from scratch and you want to keep a pregnancy journal, I'd highly suggest going to check some of these out on Amazon or in store. It's a prompted journal. I'm just going to show you really quick what I used. So it's just got, you just fill it out, really. I just kept this in a box. The pen, I added some photos, not all of them. You do what you want, just like with anything prompted, you do what you want with it. So this was really great. And then I liked this one because it kind of had like an intro. It had week by week. So once a week. I was so excited to fill this out every week. It was so fun. And then at the end, there's like stuff about your labor, stuff about like your delivery. And then I did do like a checkup for Clara. I only did one. I didn't really use this afterwards, which we'll get into. But that's what I used as a pregnancy journal. This was strictly on top of like, technically, if you want to call my little on-the-go planner a planner, because I wasn't really a planner, like a creative planner at the time. I didn't know what the Happy Planner was, or about all the stickers and pens and all that stuff. I did always want to do brush lettering. And I think that's how I fell into watching videos on YouTube. I'm a real crafty person, and I would sit at my desk and craft things and watch YouTube on my phone. So when Clara was about 5 or 6 months old, I saw a video on decorative planning, and I went from, I don't really need a planner, what would I do with it, to, well, why not? And that's where this all started. So I started using a planner, and I found my planning style. And in that process, around just before Clara turned 1, we found out we were pregnant with our second child, which we were getting ready to start trying anyway. Like, it was just a little bit earlier than, like a month or so earlier than we planned, and that's fine. It happens when it's supposed to. Before we found that out, I had picked up this, and this was a box kit from the Happy Planner. I got it on clearance. It was super inexpensive. I want to say it was like $15 for the box kit. It came with like, I think there was washi, stickers, an envelope, and I was like so in love and excited about my Happy Planner that I was very excited to find this. I do have some baby book ones too on a side, but this one was specifically a pregnancy journal kit. So I use this for Marion. I did a lot of back planning because I honestly didn't even use it until like a few months in. This is the envelope that came with it. I tucked in like ultrasounds and things. This page I made after she was born. It's one of my favorite things I've ever made. It was just like kind of my story. And I used the prompts from that journal that I used with my first pregnancy, which is what I did throughout this whole entire thing. So, now this was on top of my regular planner. This is my pregnancy journal. This was strictly for fun, to keep track of things that I felt or what was going on, things that were happening with Clara and, you know, stuff like that. The cool thing about these is they have these currently pages in the back that are tailored to being pregnant. I'm trying to see if I have a blank one. Yeah. So it has like appointments for the month, a picture, which I don't think I ever really used. I don't know if I even really had that many with Marion, like a bump pic. In a word, you know, it's just like, again, prompted stuff for the currently page. And then it was just a blank, undated planner for the weeklies, a vertical one. And so what I did was I followed along week by week in that first journal and used the same prompts for that. I changed these around. So I have a lot of like less decorated stuff. This is a little big, although this is actually the same size I'm using right now. It was a little big. And then after she came, she got here in August. After she came, I went ahead and just like did pictures and stuff for the first couple months and filled it out because this was a 12-month planner. Which is kind of weird, but also they can only sell you 9 months. I don't know. But I also had my regular planner here, and I brought this out because I used this before she was born, and I continue to use it after she was born. So regularly, this calendar still, to this day, is very important for me because this is where I put appointments. Not as much in here, it doesn't look like, but I think I was using like bill tracking pages for the month. I put my bills on this calendar now. And this, so small, you know, caveat or whatever you want to say. This was 2020. So, you know, y'all know what happened in 2020. So, I was doing the best I could. Like, there were weeks that looked like this because, you know, we weren't doing anything. But as you can see, I have like lists. I have, you know, different things we're doing. I mean, we really weren't going out though, you know. Here's a good full, of course there's a lot of stickers on that one. Anyway, I just had fun in my planner before, you know, but I would use it functionally too. So, and that's always been my style. I really love it to decorate it and make it pretty, but it has to be functional. Again, so she was born in August. So this is leading up. Pretty, these are things I had to work on. Stuff for Clara, stuff for work, because I was still working part-time. And that was working out okay. Part of it was my husband was home for a good chunk of this year, which we are very grateful for. So, and I think it lasted well into Marion being born, our second one. And part of it was, you know, it was just me, Andrew, and Clara. So I could find time to do stuff like this, or I'd sit down at the table and do stuff like this. And I didn't have as much stuff. I had plenty of stuff, but I have way too much stuff now. I know it. Here is the week she was born. So you can see I went from fairly filled out and stuff to, I decorated this before. But obviously, she was born, and we were at the hospital till Wednesday. Nothing's written. But that's okay, because I went into my second pregnancy knowing that it was okay to not use my planner on days that I didn't need it to. And these calendars are the things that kept me pretty on track. I do have, like, there was a bill here that I marked off. A vet appointment, a doctor appointment, stuff like that. You know, there's another bill. This is the thing that kept me organized. And if anything, don't worry about if this is too much as a new mom for you. Just use this. It's okay to not use your planner if it's not working for you at the time. So that's one takeaway you should have. Let me go back here. So this was the week she was born. I had a few things. They were like goals for the day and stuff. Like this is like planner photos. So I had some photos I want to take in my planner. I want to spend an hour working on eBay. Make an appointment for Marion, order photos of Marion, like take photos of Marion, photos of Clara. It was basically just time with my kids, like doing whatever. Here, she's 1 week old here, and here is where it looks like I'm using it a lot, but if you notice, there's a lot of stickers covering this. Here's where it starts. I do start using it a little more, but again, there's a big sticker here. You know, there's a meal plan sticker here, so there's not as much in here as, and it's not all plans. Like this says Claire ate corn again today and she loved it. Just notes, work on journal for Katie. That was my sister. I was making like kind of like a pregnancy baby journal, a baby journal for her. Yeah, so it's not as filled out as it was, you know, earlier, and it was mostly lists and little easy things. Dishes, laundry, eBay. Dishes, eBay shipping planners. Meal plan. Buy cheese. Carpet. Clean the carpet. We traveled this weekend, so I just marked down stuff we did. I ended up not using that one. I used this one for my currently page. I just never glued it together. And so I just did simple lists of things I wanted to do because that worked for me at the time, right? So after they were born, and that was just like for my regular plans, I had a second planner that I used after Marion was born because the reason this was the fun one. Now this one was this was my regular planner and I just kept at it so I could keep the important essential things on track, and the rest of it was just if I didn't get things done like the dishes, I didn't worry about it. This is my tracker / mental wellness for a new mom planner that I created. So with Clara, because I did not have a planner or anything like that, I had one day just pulled a notebook, a plain spiral notebook that I had for jotting down notes, and I started writing down every day every little thing I could think of that I did, because I struggled with feeling like I wasn't doing anything. I felt like the whole day would go by and Andrew would get home and I did nothing but feed and change and put the baby down. And I wasn't taking naps when she was taking naps because my clock doesn't work like that. I know they tell you to, but it doesn't. And you feel like you aren't doing anything, and that's how I felt. Like I said, it's going to be different for everyone. So I would make a list every day of things I did. It was stuff like go get the mail, let the dogs out, go check for eggs in the chicken coop, do some dishes, take a shower, eat lunch, feed Clara lunch, things like that. It wasn't anything major. It's kind of like a reverse to-do list. It was kind of like, this is what I did. So at the end of the day, I saw there was a list of things I actually did do, even though they were small. I saw there's a list, and that made me feel so much better about my day. And I know they were small things, but that's all maybe you have the time for with a new baby. And that's okay, because there's time for all that other stuff later. So what I did was I took a monthly layout, is what this is called at the time. It's like the checklist layout. And I put in here a mood tracker in the calendar. This is August. So these have like a dashboard. Let me find a blank one. A plain dashboard like this that you can put whatever on. And then it's just lists of daily tasks. If you see where I'm going, it's daily lists. And there's a note page. There's like a note page and then a currently page, which basically says notes. So for this, I made kind of like a wellness list. I did a bucket list. These were just some like 3 things that I wanted to tell myself or inspire me. I kept this as gratitude. This was just decorative. This was good things that happened this month. This was ways I'm adding to my mental wellness. And what I did was take these wellness sticker books and use those to make myself you know, activities and bucket lists and things like that to take care of myself, give myself something simple and easy to do. I mean, the hardest part was finding it didn't even take that long, was finding time to do this. I could do this during a nap time, during one nap stretch, and that worked out really well. And then, like, I filled out these habit trackers, and I picked enough water, hand lettering, and hug your husband. I know that sounds so simple and easy, but it makes me feel good, so that's what I used. So here, August is short because there was only, you know, she was born at the end of the month. So I wrote down all the things I did for the day. Made Clara lunch, made cookies for Clara, dishes, worked in my planner for next week, watched videos with Clara, gave Marion a bath, gave Clara a bath. That doesn't seem like a lot, but it is a lot, especially when you have to do them in these short stretches because you're feeding a baby, changing a baby, and then putting her down for a nap, and you have a 1.5-year-old running around. This was just like this was the medications I was on. This changes a little bit. This page here was, I sat down and I pulled stickers from those wellness books, and I just put one, I put, you know, this is a decorative quotes, but these are just activities out of those books. They have all kinds of prompted activities, which I love. And each day I just picked one and filled it out. So this day was a small victory, and I said, I took a shower today. And that was the day after she was born. So that is a small victory. Taking a shower, that first shower after your baby's born. It feels like a victory. And you feel so much better. Something good that happened today. Clara met Marion, and she's super excited. The next day I was feeling overwhelmed, and I filled that out, and part of that was because we had people coming in and out of the house, and looking back that I should have said, no one can come. That's what we said with Clara, is we had to wait a few weeks and struggle on our own because we weren't going to always have help. So I take full advantage of the help at the hospital for the 2 days while I'm recovering, and you're still recovering when you get home, but it's a huge adjustment. But then when I get home, I don't want that help. I know it's not like that for a lot of people, but I don't want to get help that I'm not going to always have. Our families don't live near us, so they visit for a few days and they leave. And it's helpful in some ways, but in other ways it's stressful because I feel like I'm hosting someone. And to have a baby and be hosting someone by the end of the week is very stressful. But then, like, this was a morning reflection. So you just pick one thing every day, and I would just date it as I did it. So I did a couple, doubled up on a couple. Oh, and then this page, I made this. So that was like all mental wellness for new mommy. This was tracking for the baby. So, you can see it's dated. How much water I was drinking, wet diapers and dirty diapers, and then breastfeeding, because I was breastfeeding, but this could also work for formula. And these were my vitamins and thyroid medications. This, I was on a lot of stuff when I first got out of the hospital. So I think this was the first page, and I made it so I could, how did I do this? Like, look at these next to each other, I think. But you know, it's only a few days. So here's a mood tracker. I do suggest, if you don't want to have 2 planners, put all your, like, essentials, the things you absolutely have to know, on the calendar. If you want to do something like this, put your essentials on the calendar and use, it doesn't even have to be this layout. Use your weekly layouts for tracking, wellness, whatever you need to do, because this calendar doesn't have to be pretty, especially for a couple months, as long as it works. Okay, but I did choose to do mood tracking, which is kind of nice because I can look back and see how crazy or not crazy I was. And then again, I did a wellness bucket list. I used this for gratitude. I just picked 3 of these stickers that I wanted to say were top priorities. Good things, small victories. And then I picked out 3 new habits. And then here's my list. Guys, I just kept making lists every day, and these make me feel better. And because this works for me, this is probably what I'm going to do again. But you could do use this as a limit. Limit yourself to only doing this many tasks per day or goals per day, or, you know, or do what I did and write down the things you're doing so you can look back and see. Or if you just want to use this as your tracking, instead of like I did half sheets for the tracking, do that if you need to track stuff. There's a lot of possibilities with this layout, and I think it's very underrated. I think people are starting to see its value, especially since it was gone for like a year. So I did this for pretty much the whole month. This note page I used to make some notes about Clara, Marion, how I was feeling about things. Kind of like a little journal, just random stuff I wanted to write down over random days over the month. I did that same thing where I sat down and I just filled this with stickers with different prompts, and each day I'd pick a different one to do. And some of them are little, like this one just said make some tea, and that was what I did for myself that day. These are my trackers again. So I'm not... Okay, so this was the breastfeeding, and then I pumped once, and then my water. I stopped tracking diapers on this page. Whenever this is from, I didn't date these. I was down to, I think, just my thyroid and vitamins at this point, which is what I would have started taking to begin with. This was early in September. So I was on vitamins, prednisone, thyroid. I stopped taking this one, and Motrin for pain, I believe. And then, again, water, feedings, diapers. And then I think it looks like I just stopped tracking diapers and continued to track feedings because she was going enough. I wasn't worried about that anymore. Tylenol, water, going to walk. That was encouraging me to move. Feedings, waters. Okay, feedings, waters, things like that. I pumped twice this day, pumped at 7, things like that. I was just playing around here. September, so I, really used this in September. October, I kind of fell off using it. You can see I had started out for a good week or so. I filled some things out. You can see where I stopped because I didn't need it as much. I did keep up with this because the feeding, that's part of the reason I had the notebook too, is I need this feeding because I can't remember. Some people put pins and on their shirts so they remember what side they used and different things, and I just wrote it down. And again, I was doing my list, but I was starting to need it less because I was healing more. We had gone on a trip already. And then I tried to keep going. I kind of dropped off. I tried to pick it back up in November. I was doing mood tracking, and I continued doing that for a while. I did some stuff here. I changed things up a little bit. Just liked trying out new things, and that was about it. I didn't need, I didn't need any of this other stuff. I started doing a mood tracking, but that was about it. I started this one in October, and then I was going to continue just using it another month, and I didn't. So you can see I didn't need it anymore, and I just stuck with my regular planner at that point. That I went through and filled out, and I did that like memory planning, but that's it. So for me, it's about making lists for myself, whether that be, like I said, for me, it was, what did I do today? For you, maybe it's a goal of things you want to do. Don't be too hard on yourself if you can't, but maybe it's a limit of things that you should be doing. Maybe it's just memories. Maybe you just want to write down memories from that day, because it just like is a whirlwind. And then, I did half sheet tracking for Marion. I did do tracking, like I said, for Claire. It was just in that notebook with my lists. And then I added in those wellness activities to kind of, and they helped. I would say that some of them more than others. Sometimes maybe it was like too much, so don't feel like you have to do it every day. Like maybe I was like, oh, I have to do one of these. You don't have to. Just you need to experiment and find something that is going to help you get through that time and at least enjoy it a little bit. That's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope it wasn't too confusing. But basically, I just suggest finding get a blank planner. Even if you don't want to decorate, you don't have to decorate. Get a blank planner and just write or put down like notes. You can always go back and do memory keeping if you really want to decorate things. But get a blank planner that's separate. Or like I said, put all your essential stuff, your life stuff in the calendar and use it could be a vertical, it could be a dashboard, whatever. Use it to track or help you get through the day. But you don't feel like you have to decorate it. Don't feel like you have to do all these activities or anything else. Just find things that will make you feel good, that will make you feel like worthwhile, that will make you feel like whatever, because you're going to be tired. I mean, everyone's tired. So I just suggest using a planner to do things that are going to make you feel healthy and happy as much as you can with that stress of being a new parent. If you have any questions, let me know down below. If you have any other ideas, let us know down below. Share them. And yeah, I mean, if you do have questions, let me know and I'll do my best to answer them. I love to help people with that kind of thing. And I think that's it. I hope you guys are having a great day and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.